Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the sci-fi movie from 2014, Earth to Echo. Have any of you heard of this?
I hadn't, and I'm glad I watched it. Now, 4 teenagers in Nevada find an alien that's trying to rebuild a spaceship, and together, the kids protect the alien whom they dub Echo and help him return home. But they'll have to outrun the government first, as always, in all these type of movies.
Yeah, and before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
That's right.
So this one I actually had seen, like, maybe a few months after it came out, they had it on demand. I watched it with our Nana, and it turned out to be really, really good. But Mama had not seen it at the time, and it was gone, so I didn't know it was ever going to come up again. And then years later, we see it pop up again. I was like, hey, I remember this movie. It was really good. You want to see it? And she agreed, and we got to re-watch it again recently. And it had been so long since I'd seen the movie, but I remember a lot of the stuff that happened.
And it kind of gave me the same feel as Stranger Things when we were watching it.
Yes, it did. The only difference is this was trying to play off like a found footage film.
Right.
Or a home video or something. So, and this was 2014, so go figure. And I think Stranger Things was a little later. So
right.
Maybe that was part of the inspiration.
It looks like it, yeah. Especially with the kids, how the kids were, how they were living, and what happened. Yeah, to me, it was like a precursor for Stranger Things. But it works. Stranger Things didn't copy exactly, as you said, inspiration, and both of them work. Both the series and this movie. The movie was really good.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. It was very fast-paced, pretty much all throughout. They just got right to what the story's about as soon as it came on. There was no build-up, backstory, all this other stuff. It was like, wham, this is what's happening.
Right.
This is what we got to do.
Yeah.
How are we going to do
The only thing they told you is like, here they are, one kid's moving. One of the kids, I think it was Alex, he was moving.
Right.
So they wanted to do something, he and his friends want to do something together one last time, so they have the best memory before he leaves. And that's when they go out into the desert, at first their phones were messing up. They didn't know why. All their phones were messy up and being glitchy, and they thought it was something wrong with the service or something. And they found out it's like a signal. Something had crashed in the desert, so of course Nevada. So that's where they find Echoes. They name him later. It's a little ship, and it kept messing with the phones. It was making a map, I guess, back to its home planet. And so he said the whole movie becomes them trying to get back to his spaceship and following the map. It's like going across the city where there's different parts it needs to rebuild it. And then at the same time, you had the government looking
like
for that
spaceship hunt.
Yeah, right. And then the government was looking, of course, for this little pod, and they were posing as construction workers or electrical workers, so they could get around the houses and everything to see if any of the pieces of the ship or the alien were there.
And again, it was an interesting story. You see some older actors that made appearances in here. I wasn't familiar with any of the kids. Were you?
No, actually, I think if they were stars, maybe they were not from here, or they were kid stars, because no, I didn't recognize any of them from other movies.
Right.
Though we did learn that this originally was a Disney movie, and then they sold the rights to Relatively Media, and I guess they reworked it and it turned to this film.
And I don't know if when it came out it was pretty big or people talked about it. I honestly don't ever remember hearing about this movie.
Yeah, I think it was advertised, but I think it was sort of under radar. It wasn't anything really big people were looking for, or the type of movie they were looking for at the time, because this is when the superhero movies were starting to take off. So the sci-fi and stuff really wasn't there until Stranger Things years later. So really, I think superhero movies were really in then. So a lot of the stuff, unless it had a mixture of superhero in it, they didn't really do as well or as blockbusters.
Right.
But it still had a chance, and it came out in theaters, and it made a substantial amount of money. It made about $45.3 million, and the budget was $13 million.
Oh, it did great then.
Right.
It more than quadrupled the budget.
Right.
So that's good. So if you haven't seen it, we do recommend that you do watch it again. If you're fans of Stranger Things, you're really gonna like this, because it really is a lot like Stranger Things. As you said, it was the precursor, so it didn't copy Stranger Things. So you kind of get to see maybe how they were inspired to create that series.
Right.
I do like that the friends stayed friends. They were really wanting to make sure they didn't lose friendship.
Right. Even when they had the girl
moving away. And it really flowed. The movie really flowed. The pace was really good. The friendship seemed genuine. I really like when I watch movies, and you can tell that great care was taken casting the characters and the screenwriting being done and everything, because this seemed like something that really could have happened.
Right.
And even working in, as you said, the movie making and putting it online and so on, and all of that, it just worked. It just felt really natural, really great, just like Stranger Things. And I know I keep saying that,
Right.
but it really, you just see the parallels when you're watching it.
Right.
And they did a great job in making this movie just really great and fun. And yes, it did have, I don't want to say, they did have a goal in getting him back to his planet so that he wasn't taken to be researched and cooked apart.
Right, because that's immediately what they were going to do
Right.
as soon as they found it.
But there also was some fun moments, and Echo's really cute.
Right.
He's really cute.
And a heads up, Echo doesn't talk at all. There is
Right.
no celebrity voice actor or big star doing the voice.
Speaks in sound.
Beeps, yeah.
Right.
And the beep beep, and it makes little beeps and sounds as a yes or no, and that's how they talk to it. And if it needs directions or something, it uses the phone so let them know where to go to find another piece or where its home is. So that was actually really different, that it wasn't just going sort of some alien comedy
Right.
thing that you always see, so they made it more interesting by finding ways to communicate. And I'm glad you mentioned about, how the care went into the movie, because they even had the special effects looking very well done.
Oh, really?
And this is both, and the entire movie's done in a found footage format, like some you watch on YouTube where you see someone filming, but all the effects make it look like all the stuff is actually happening. It didn't look like, oh, you can tell this is CGI and this, that, and the other, especially when you find the ship and everything. It all
like
looks
It's like Blair Witch Project, but done much better.
Yeah, and you could, when you see all the effects, it looks like all this stuff is really happening. If you didn't know this was like absolutely fiction, you would have thought this was something that happened.
And as you mentioned with the special effects, it really got good. Well, I shouldn't say good. It really got spectacular when they finally got all the parts, and when
Yes.
they found out where the ship was.
Right.
And that's really gonna be like a big reveal, so we won't ruin it for you.
Right,
But that
because
the special effects there were like wow, and it looked real. It didn't look like it was digital. It didn't look like it was green screen. It really looked like it was happening.
Exactly. And what was great is that when they did this, because they also kept leading up to this thing that the people were trying to get the people that lived in this sort of suburb area there. They kept telling them, okay, you're gonna have to move. You gotta move across the highway. You gotta move here, and they were trying to get everybody out, and they didn't know why. They never explained why. They said we need everyone to get out, and they never told them why. They just paid. Here, we'll pay you. You can go. Oh, we'll tell you when it's safe or something else. They were thinking they were covering it up like it was an earthquake or something, and you'll find out why they were so determined to get all the residents out.
So, if you have not seen Earth to Echo, hopefully you can check on demand with a service that you have. Check on Roku if you haven't, because they've got so many movies. They've got hundreds of thousands of movies, and maybe Earth to Echo is on there. We've never checked. Or maybe you can see if it's available on Prime, or last but not least, see if it's available for sale on Amazon or at Half Price Books or something. And if you have seen it, either way, let us know what you think in the comments below.
Absolutely. And be sure to like, subscribe, and notification bell to get updates on future podcasts or World of Paws videos.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainments.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.